royal ruckus. Prince Harry makes waves with another interview, this time accusing his family of neglect. Why he's speaking out again and how he hopes it will help others.
It's not going to get any better anytime soon.
Forget where's the beef, where's the booze? New information about an alcohol shortage across Ohio. What's causing it, how long it will last. Would you believe the experts are saying years? And revenge shopping. Yes, it's a real thing. Why the pandemic sent people on spending sprees.
And if you're heading to Cedar Point this weekend, the mask rules have changed. We have the details. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello, everybody, on this gorgeous Friday evening. Look, Jay, I mean, we're inside, but we could still get to see downtown Cleveland on the CSU cam. We've got a plane that's headed into CLE over here.
You see the stadium there?
Interbelt Bridge, yeah, the Tribe game.
It's going to be as full as it's been in 2 years.
40%
packed.
Sold out.
I love that.
So exciting. It's
Great.
Dollar Dog Night over there. All kinds of festivities taking place to kick off the weekend. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. Thank you so much for staying with us for What's New.
I can't believe that we're a month from summer and this entire week. I'm not going to complain because I'm like the What's New complainer now.
Yesterday
I said
complained
it was a little
too hot.
Yeah. So I won't do that. But I'm loving this. Felt like summer all week. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for being with us. We begin with what so many of you have been eager to do, and that's travel. It's expected to be a busy travel season, but not just for people flying, for the entire industry as a whole. In fact, global leader in aircraft leasing Avalon predicts over 90 new carriers will launch this year, including this new airway called Breeze. And soon it'll take flight out of the Akron-Canton Airport. For more on its destinations and some pretty sweet fares, we bring in January Keaton. January, good afternoon to you. Give us the details. Where's this going and when does it start?
Well, I'll give you all those details. Yeah, Akron-Canton Airport is banking on Breeze's low fares, their trouble-free travel experience. They guarantee you a trouble-free flight experience. Say that 3 times. And also, they want you to know that they have everything you need. You can even choose your own amenities here. I mean, this airline is a great draw for Akron-Canton folks who fly out of here. Now, these flights are cheap, too. They're starting at $39. Akron-Canton Airport CEO Ren Camacho, he made that announcement this week after 2 years of talks with Breeze Airway. Breeze founder David Neilman, he also founded JetBlue and several other low-cost airlines. He created Breeze to offer, quote, seriously nice nonstop flights with smaller secondary airports. He also offers low fares, of course, and high flexibility with no hassle. It's win-win. Airport CEO Ren Camacho calls that addition a huge big win for travelers here.
This announcement marks a once-in-a-lifetime chance to further connect Northeast Ohio residents to other individuals, to new places, and to exciting opportunities.
Now, adding Breeze to Akron-Canton's airline roster has been in the works since June of 2019, and it's finally here. With Ohio opening back up, of course, the airport is hoping more folks will use Akron-Canton Airport as their travel hub. I always use this airport. I absolutely love it. Now, the flights, if you're wondering, they'll be Charleston, one way, one stop, no stops, excuse me, one way, no stops, there you go, to Charleston 4 times a week. They'll do 2 nonstop flights to New Orleans twice a week, there you go. And then they'll have 1 flight to Tampa each week, and that'll be on Saturdays. And again, these flights are only $39. That $39 is one way, by the way. Those flights start on June 26th, guys.
All right, so about a month from now, January, I'm skeptical. Yep. When it sounds too good to be true, I think, okay, wait a minute, what's the rub here, $39? Are these promotional flights? Are they seasonal? Or is Breeze this permanent addition to Akron-Canton Airport?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head, Jay. Breeze is a permanent addition to Akron-Canton Airport, and there are no cancellation fees if you decide you change your mind. I mean, this airline is super good with people. It's very people-friendly. But yeah, it's not promotional, it's not seasonal, it's all year round. And again, it's here to stay, Jay.
All right, January Keaton live tonight. Thank you, January.
Well, now on your feet at 5 as we're getting the weekend started, let me say this. Liquor shortage. It's true. Some of your favorite spirits may become harder and harder to find, and there are a couple reasons why. Brandon Simmons joins us from one of the state liquor agencies in Twinsburg with more info on what's happening. And Brandon, I'm pretty sure you got a few people's attention with liquor shortage as the main line there.
I know we have their attention, but I don't want to scare people. It's not quite prohibition, so there's liquor available, so everybody just stay calm. You can still head to the store. Bottom line is you have to understand some of your favorites may not be on the shelves, and you may have to look into trying some new things as you head out to the store. Now, we do know that throughout the pandemic, people have been consuming more alcohol than ever here in Ohio. Ohio sold almost $1.6 billion worth of liquor in 2020, a 19% jump from the year prior. And surprisingly, to me at least, during the pandemic, people are looking to the more expensive options, spending more of their money. High-end cognac, some champagnes and brandies like Remy Martin VSOP are difficult to find. And one of the most popular types of liquor is leaving the shelves quickly, tequila. One liquor agency owner says now's the time for you to be trying something new.
We're all having the same issues, whether it's Giant Eagle, Acme, myself, us another small business. We're all having the same issues. So expand your horizons a little bit and find some backups. I tell people now, if you want an añejo tequila, try a few options at a bar.
Now, that's the tough part. Restaurants and bars are having issues finding some products, too, because here in Ohio, they're buying their liquor from the same agencies that you are. So if you don't see it on the shelf, it's very likely that your favorite bar or restaurant nearby doesn't have it in stock either. Now, of course, a lot of people want to know, how long will this be an issue? How long will the problem last? Depending on what you're looking for, it could actually take years to replenish the stock because of the aging process involved in many of your favorite liquors, especially those dark ones. So just be patient, and you may have to look on the shelf for something different when you head out, Betsy.
I think folks are going to be sipping lightly. Very, very, very little sips
Small
to
sips.
enjoy. There you go. All right, Brandon, thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Jay?
Well, beginning this Sunday, unemployed Ohioans will have to resume searching for work if they want to continue to collect unemployment benefits. This change will affect those applying for benefits beginning next week. Allowable activities include applying for a job, attending a resume writing course, or maintaining a re-employment plan on ohiomeansjobs.com.
Well, over to vaccine news now, and a lot of questions are surrounding possible booster shots. We've been told that even if you are fully vaccinated, you could need a third booster shot later in the year. Pfizer's CEO says the company is studying the efficacy of the third shot, but does expect a booster shot to be needed within 8 to 12 months of the first shot. However, the Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says vaccinated Americans would, quote, need not necessarily to get one this fall. The CDC is right now dedicated to tracking variants that could determine the booster shot. We'll keep you posted.
Well, speaking of changes, more are in store for Cedar Point as the park has updated its mask policy yet again. Now, fully vaccinated guests do not have to wear masks at the park. However, Cedar Point still recommending that you do. Guests who are not vaccinated need to wear a mask inside and outside if you cannot socially distance. Before, it was that even if guests are fully vaccinated, they were still required to wear a face covering outside if unable to socially distance. Cedar Point says they won't ask for vaccine proof. They are, however, asking everyone to honor the rules.
Okay, here's a big question for you. What was your pandemic project? I cleaned out the basement about 4 times. A lot of people took the opportunity to branch out in a few new directions, including one local doctor who decided to write a children's book with her young son. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins has her story and how the pandemic helped her find the illustrator, too.
On a night Dr. Rock Siles and her son couldn't decide on a bedtime story, they created the story of Charlie the Turtle and the Muddy Birthday Cake.
You know, he would add one component and then I would throw in another component.
Charlie's story sat on her desktop for a few years until the pandemic. During quarantine, she found Monica Kimmel's amazing chalk art on Facebook.
I was just blown away by her talent.
Monica's photography business stalled during the pandemic.
I was bored and I took all of my chalk and went outside and started doing about 3 to 5 chalk drawings every day.
Dr. Siles wasn't the only one who noticed.
And this just snowballed into Now people are commissioning me to do chalk drawings for special occasions like graduation parties and Father's Day, Mother's Day, communions.
Dr. Siles and her son may have written about Charlie, but Monica brought the turtle to life in color.
Not only is it nice for me personally to bring the special moment between my child and I together, but it is also to share how two strangers got together using social media and accomplished something that we would never accomplish on our own, and to do something completely outside the box.
And it wasn't just one book. She also wrote Santa Goes Sledding at the same time, which will be available for Christmas in July. She's also proud of what this endeavor taught her son.
Even though you've never done it before, that you could always find a way to do it. And it's funny because that's Charlie's story.
So Monica also got a job as a children's art teacher for the summer, and she's also been commissioned by another publishing house to do another book. And Dr. Siles is not done writing. She's an allergist, and she wants to create a character to help explain asthma to kids, and she wants to give back. She was born in Bolivia, so her books are also in English and Spanish, and she wants to use the money she earns to help an orphanage there, as well as get books into the kids at the orphanage and also the kids in the hospital. And you can get her first book at Barnes & Noble at Crocker Park, and it's also available on Amazon, Bets.
That is amazing. I mean, the list of awesomeness just kind of keeps unrolling there. It's all good stuff. So yeah. Thank you so much for all that, Monica. Look forward to seeing those books.
Sure.
Well, we have some exciting Browns news to tell you about today. Former Ohio State defensive tackle Tommy Togiai is officially signed. The deal comes 3 weeks after the Browns selected the powerful pass rusher in the 4th round of the NFL draft. He was the 132nd overall pick. Togiai spent 3 seasons with the Buckeyes, tallying 49 tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble in 33 games. He's going to help Myles Garrett wreak havoc on opposing quarterbacks. Well, coming up next on What's New, it's being called revenge shopping. Have you heard of this, Bets?
Yeah.
Revenge shopping. We're going to tell you how Americans are taking out their pandemic rage by shopping, and it's giving a big boost to both the travel and retail industries.
I know about it because Big Sue has been spending as soon as that second vaccine shot got in there. All right, it is not just a bunch of hocus pocus. New confirmation of the popular Halloween sequel in the works. That's ahead in Pot Break.
And today's Friday. That means Matt Standridge is in for weather. Matt, boy, it has just been perfect. Please tell me this will continue into the weekend.
Hey, so we've been sitting in 80-degree territory for the past several days, right? We do have more 80s on the way this weekend, but there could be a few more chances for a few isolated pop-ups. Not this evening, though. Headed outdoors, maybe dining. It'd be warm. We're still in the 80s. Now, if you're close to the lakeshore, we're starting to dip into some 70s thanks to that lake breeze, but it's going to be great if you're headed out this evening. This weekend, though, a couple pop-ups. We're going to let you know when you have the best chance to get a shower over your neighborhood. That's all coming up.
Welcome back to What's New. After months of being locked up at home, people are now rushing out in droves to once again enjoy life. And for those who were able to save money during the pandemic or maybe bank those stimulus checks, they're making up for lost time in what's being called revenge spending. Here's consumer investigator Danielle Serino on where they're dropping all that cash.
The commercial for Extra Gum nailed it. As the country comes back from the brink, people are letting loose. Instead of hugging, though, they're spending.
Weddings were canceled. Graduations were canceled. Everything was canceled. And so there's just a plethora of things that people are wanting to do right now to really enjoy life.
Like enjoying a little retail therapy, according to marketing strategists. And we're not talking a trip to Target. It's aspirational purchases like high-end cosmetics and designer bags and shoes.
Definitely shopping a lot more.
All day, every day, online, outside.
It doesn't hurt that many recently became $1,400 richer.
Because the government gave us the money.
And they're not just dropping cash on products. Travel has taken off as well.
We all are kind of ready to get out of Dodge. We need a change of scenery. So it's kind of exciting for the travel and, hospitality industry.
And for Macy Staninger and her family.
We were just kind of locked in our house in these walls, and the kids were going crazy, and I was going crazy, and I was like, we need a vacation.
Last December, they went on their first real vacation together to Arizona and the Grand Canyon.
We did not watch the news. We did not participate in any discussions on social media. Like, we shut everything off. I basically was like, I'm going dark for a week.
And she says the benefit was worth the risk of traveling on a plane, especially since once there, no one was around and they could shed those masks.
Just everybody felt so much better and more lively and just in a happier place. And it was 100% worth it. Absolutely worth it.
And that's priceless. The only caveat with this revenge spending, as it's being called, is we still need to be smart.
What we don't want to do is have, an increased consumer debt going through the roof as a result of it. But it's just a positive sign, though, that people are wanting to spend money, and it's good for everybody.
Which Lisa calls finding the journey back to joy. Danielle Serino, 3 News.
My gosh, it was so funny to see them. They went out to Arizona to the Grand Canyon. They're wearing all their winter gear. It gets cold out there sometimes, and they have been dealing with some pretty chilly weather out there in the southwestern part of the United States. Meanwhile, we have been hot and toasty. Still don't know yet if we tied that record high today, Matt, but we're keeping an eye out for that latest data. But going forward, it doesn't look like too many huge changes.
Exactly. And you and I have been looking. There's 5-minute observations that come out of Cleveland Hopkins Airport. We've been looking at them every 5 minutes. And I think the latest check, I was just looking just a second ago, and Betsy, we keep hovering right around 86 now. But earlier, a lot of times we were near 88. The record high today is 89, so we're very close to that record high territory. And it's warm, it's sunny out there. We do have some high clouds, though. You might have noticed they've been increasing slightly. Over the past several days, you've probably been watching a lot of rain towards the west. It just keeps falling over the same areas over the Mississippi River. This slowly is going to be trying to move its way eastward towards the Great Lakes. In addition, there's a front towards our north and southern Canada. This thing's going to be slowly trying to approach Lake Erie and eventually trying to bring some of these showers along with it. We may try to squeeze out a stray shower tomorrow. We may have a little bit better of a chance on Sunday. And then next week, I think we have several chances for some scattered showers and storms. But this evening, you don't have to worry. You're headed out this evening. It's just going to be warm and humid out there. We still have an air quality alert, so keep in mind about that. The air quality alerts have kind of expanded throughout the Great Lakes today. It's warm, though. We're sitting well into the 80s. Now, once the sun sets, we should get into those 70s. We'll probably bottom out in the 60s tonight, but then tomorrow we'll be back in the 80s. It may not be quite as warm as it was today just because some of the extra clouds and the chance for a stray pop-up shower, maybe in a quick rumble of thunder, too. When we're looking at those chances this weekend, they're still on the low side. Most of the weekend, I think, will be dry, but there's a 20% chance for the afternoon tomorrow. As you go into Sunday, there'll be about a 30% chance as you go into the afternoon and the evening time frame. So if you're still doing stuff outside, I think you'll be able to squeeze in several chances. Here's your National Design hour-by-hour forecast. Going overnight, those high clouds that you noticed this evening will start to thicken up a little bit. We'll still get plenty of sun, I think, throughout this weekend, but watch out for a stray shower. Maybe a higher chance towards the west, towards Sandusky and the islands. As you go into Sunday, still kind of the clouds sticking around with some breaks of sun, of course, in there in between, with a few more pop-ups too. But notice there's just not a lot quite yet until next week. When you look on the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook, I think by Monday there'll be a much higher chance for a shower, a thunderstorm, and then more chances as you go into next week. But the heat is honestly still on. Guys, we're going to be sitting in those 70s and 80s for the next several days. But this weekend, probably still locked in those 80s for both Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Matt, very good.
Thanks, Matt.
We're like ventriloquists. Next on What's New, it's never too late to head to school. Hear where actress Leah Remini got accepted and her plans moving forward. That's coming up in Pop Break.
Plus, the Eiffel Tower reimagined, the new realistic optical illusion that had visitors jumping off cliffs. That's ahead and are worth the watch.
Welcome back to What's New. You know that music means it's time for our entertainment headlines, and we have a lot of cool stories today, including a late start to school for one actress we all know, a pretty daring move by Angelina Jolie, and Hocus Pocus fans, you're in for a treat. Here's Kiara Cotton to break it all down with our Friday Pop Break.
Leah Remini is heading back to the classroom. The 50-year-old actress posted to Instagram yesterday that she had been accepted to New York University. Alongside a picture of her acceptance letter, Remini wrote, "For someone like me, a person who desperately wanted a higher education and options in my life, coming from a cult and a family who didn't value education, this is a very big day for me." Remini will join NYU's liberal arts program this fall. The internet is buzzing about Angelina Jolie's most recent photo shoot. Hoping to raise conservation awareness, the model and actress posed covered in bees for National Geographic. The shoot was done for the magazine's World Bee Day exclusive, where the 45-year-old talked about why it's more important now than ever to protect the bee population. She told the magazine, "The intention is we share this planet. We are affected by each other. I felt very honored and very lucky to have the experience." And the Sanderson sisters will soon be back in action. The sequel to the 1993 cult classic Hocus Pocus is officially in the works. Bette Midler, who stars as Winifred in the film, announced the news on social media yesterday, saying, "It's been 300 years, but we're back. Hocus Pocus 2 arrives fall 2022. Midler will be joined by fellow witches Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy as they navigate a modern-day Salem, Massachusetts. The sequel will be available to stream on Disney+. And last but not least, the Billboard Music Awards are set to take place this weekend. Hosted by Nick Jonas, you can catch all the action Sunday right here on NBC. Jay?
Okay, Kiara, I asked Betsy when we were seeing the pictures there of Angelina Jolie covered in bees, would you do that?
Absolutely not. Not a chance.
Yeah, you could put me in the absolutely not camp, too. Betsy was funny. She said, I probably would, but here would be my look.
It wouldn't be pretty.
I'm telling you, she's got a lot more courage than I do. Hey, listen, have a great weekend, Kiara. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now it's time for today's Worth the Watch, and it comes to us all the way from France. Visitors in Paris got a pretty neat experience other than just checking out the Eiffel Tower, which is pretty neat. This new art installation shows an optical illusion of the cliffs below the structure. French contemporary artist JR unveiled the piece on the day that restaurant terraces reopen, so people are especially excited to return to a little bit of normalcy. So again, it's an optical illusion, but that is kind of cool, right? And send some pictures like,
Yeah, well, you know, with these Instagram stations all over,
right?
I can see where that would be a very, that's funny.
We should do that with the terminal tower. That'd be kind of sweet.
You know what, Bets? Let's get on that.
I know.
If you paint it, I'll go down there and
get our people on there.
Yeah. Well, you know, we are graffiti artists.
That's true,
as
Jay.
We proved again yesterday, Bets. That is a good idea, though. It'd be neat to have one of those down there at Terminal Tower.
It would.
Attract people, get a little traffic going. Look at the line.
Right?
The Instagrammers are crazy, man. They'll stand in line to get that pic forever.
It's got to be perfect.
Not me. Okay, coming up in the second half hour of What's New, two big stories to tell you about with Prince Harry and his brother, Prince William. The candid conversations on mental health and why the BBC is getting a whole lot of backlash for something that happened 25 years ago.
Plus, light up the sky. The 4th of July is looking bright this year. We'll have details ahead on Cleveland's fireworks celebration.
Does that mean that means they're back, right?
Game on.
I love that. And getting creative for a career. The lengths one BGSU grad went to try to get the job of his dreams. This is a great story. I can't wait till you see it.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We start at 5:30 with some breaking news just in from Willoughby. You know, when this pushed across the newsroom, I read it and I was like, what?
I did too.
The Lake County Bomb Squad is looking into a, quote, military ordinance, which could be any number of things, but it's in the Chagrin River. This is happening north of Daniels Park, if you're familiar with that area. Right now, there is no threat to the community, but we're told that officials with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton are now on their way to help investigate. We're working to get more details on this. We're going to bring you updates as we learn more.
That's fascinating. Well, to vaccine news now, and some great news for all Ohioans. The state has seen our vaccination rate increase by, get this, 45%, and it may have a whole lot to do with the Vaccination lottery. I'm going to go out on the limb and say it does have a lot to do with that. Governor Mike DeWine visited Cincinnati today to tour a vaccine site and said his lottery incentive is working. In the last 23 hours, 46,000 Ohioans received their first doses. He says millions have signed up for the Vaccination lottery. Remember, the first Vaccination drawing is this coming Wednesday. And oh, by the way, New York now has adopted Ohio's plan.
Oh.
Copycats. But it's a good thing. The more people that get vaccinated, the better. And tonight's Indians game against the Minnesota Twins has reached 40% capacity. That is a COVID World sellout. Now, this isn't the first full capacity game since the start of the season, but it is the first time Progressive Field hits the new capacity limit. Remember, that 40% has been in effect now for a couple of weeks, and that's about to change to full capacity on June 2nd. Oh, and if you want to go to tomorrow's game, it's a 4:10 start. Should be great weather. The Indians tell us tickets are very limited. At 2:45, they had fewer than 500 remaining. I'm guessing that number is far less by now. And why not? They're playing great baseball. They're back after a West Coast trip. They're 2.5 games behind the White Sox for first place in the American League Central.
And the weather is amazing.
Yes,
I mean, this is like perfect ball game weather, certainly. Look at this. This is down in North Coast Harbor. That's the Good Time 3. People are on the boat. That's one of like the hottest cocktail hour, happy hour things to do after work on a Friday.
A lot of fun.
So everybody's kind of getting back into the swing of things, certainly.
Yes.
Very exciting times, but boy, it just feels good out there.
It does. Thank you so much for sticking around for the second half hour of What's New with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Let's go to our top talker right now. Everyone remembers the headline-grabbing interview Oprah did with Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle. Now there is a new docuseries out today. It's called The Me You Can't See. It's actually co-created by Prince Harry and Oprah, and it's aiming to take away the stigma around mental health.
In it, the Duke of Sussex opens up again, saying his mother, Princess Diana's death, led him to drink and use drugs, while also accusing the royal family of, quote, total neglect. Wow. Here's part of that conversation and how Harry is trying to heal.
There is no shame in this. And actually, I can use any part of my own experience that might assist or help other people who have similar issues, similar traumas.
So 4 years ago, only after meeting Meg, did you start the process of trying to figure it out? You hadn't tried it before? No.
And I quickly established that if this relationship was going to work, that I was going to have to deal with my past.
Well, Harry added that his late 20s to early 30s were a nightmare time in his life. That entire docuseries is now streaming on Apple TV.
Well, another big headline out today is Harry's brother, Britain's Prince William, issuing some pretty strong statements criticizing the BBC of unethical journalistic practices. It comes following an investigation that found one of the journalists used, quote, deceitful behavior in order to secure their mother, Princess Diana's most explosive TV interview. That was back in 1995. Here's part of Prince William's comments to the BBC.
It is my view that the deceitful way the interview was obtained substantially influenced what my mother said. The interview was a major contribution to making my parents' relationship worse and has since hurt countless others. It brings indescribable sadness to know that the BBC's failures contributed significantly to her fear, paranoia, and isolation that I remember from those final years with her.
Now this is a bombshell, Betsy, because I'm old enough to remember that interview. It was worldwide news. The reporter's name was Martin Bashir. He was a relatively young, up-and-coming journalist. The investigation determined that Bashir, using BBC graphic artists, actually altered documents that he presented to Diana before the interview that made it look as if the royal family was spying on her. These documents were fraudulent. They never existed.
Oh, my.
Many believe that's why she did the interview. She was so stunned and so hurt by it that she wanted to tell her side of the story. Sure. You'll remember that's when she talked about the relationship, the extramarital affair that her then husband, Prince Charles, had. This is big. This is really big. As a result, Martin Bashir, who was still with the BBC, just resigned last week.
For health issues.
For what he said were health issues.
Right.
So in the meantime, the broadcaster has written an apology to the family, but I'm not sure at this point that anything will undo the damage that was done.
I don't think it's the end of the story either. There'll be more that comes out.
Yeah, yikes. That's a big story, big story. All right, just ahead on what's new. The Indians are entering their weekend homestand with the Twins laying claim to, get this, the top bullpen in all of baseball. How did they get to that point? We're going to tell you coming up in Clicking in Cleveland.
And going to great lengths. Meet one BGSU student who took his job search to a whole new level. That's coming up. And of course, we're also talking top temps today, Matt. We're keeping an eye out for that potential record. I don't even know. I haven't checked. Did we get there?
We're so close. I have to check. I checked about 20 minutes ago, but we'll do that for you. The record high today is 89. So far in downtown, we're not sitting at 89. That lake breeze is cooling us off right along the lakeshore, but we're sitting at 89 right now in Akron. It's a toasty one. We may try to cool down just a touch this weekend, but in place of that, we got a chance for an isolated shower or storm. We're gonna let you know when you have the best chance coming in your neck of the woods. That's coming up.
All right, I don't know about you, Matt, but my lawn can use a little bit of wet stuff. Our final Save Our Sauce feature in Shaker Heights is Sasa. It's a bit of a hidden gem in Shaker Square, but not because it's actually hidden. It's because Sasa is modeled after an Asian-style bar that most of us are not familiar with. Check this place out and more from our Doug Trackner at WKYC.com/SaveOurSauce. We'll be right back.
Well, at 5:24 p.m., the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Cleveland issued their preliminary climatological data for the day so far. Again, preliminary, and they stopped it at 88. No record-tying number for us today, unfortunately, but boy, it is a sticky hot one out there. The midges are flying around downtown Cleveland, and we are headed into what is going to end up being a pretty nice weekend for us, Matt. Lots of folks are going to be finding places to get out of the heat.
Yeah, one of the maybe great ideas, of course, Lake Erie sitting right to the north of us, right? And you just talked about we're one away from trying to get that record, unless they try to review it. So maybe we'll try to go and look at that a little bit later tonight. But it's been very warm, right, the past several days. We've been baking in the 80s. But that also means Lake Erie is also pretty much on the warm side, too. Now, going back to 1995, for today, May 21st, we're at the third warmest time that Lake Erie has been at this date. So, of course, Lake Erie keeps getting warmer and warmer. So by July and August, we should have temperatures in the 70s. But this is the third warmest temperature that it's been for May 21st. So even Lake Erie's feeling it. So a lot of folks probably headed towards the lakeshore this weekend. It'd be probably a great weekend to do it. We'll have some westerly winds. The wind may pick up a little bit more than we've been used to the past couple of days. And when we're talking about that temperature, that 55.6, that's the average surface temperature for Lake Erie. Right off Cleveland shores, we're sitting at 53. Of course, still kind of warm, though, compared to average for this time of year because it's been so warm. Over the next 12 hours, we'll dip from the 80s that we're experiencing right now, go back to the 70s. We'll probably bottom out somewhere in the 60s tonight. We'll have a few more clouds going into this weekend. That may take our temperatures from the upper 80s and go down towards the mid, sometimes even low 80s, depending on where you live. We're still watching some rain towards the west. Eventually, this front is going to try to bring some of those towards northeast Ohio. We could get a stray shower tomorrow, maybe an additional round going into Sunday, but right now things are dry. Of course, still in air quality. We're out there until midnight tonight. We're sitting in the 80s now. We'll dip once again towards the 60s tonight. More 80s this weekend, but we may be talking about that 20% chance for an isolated shower or rumble of thunder Saturday afternoon. You can see the time frame from about noon to about 5. On Sunday, it might be a little bit longer of a time frame from 10 a.m. in the morning to about 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. Sunday would probably be the better chance to get an isolated shower or storm. But looking at the National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast, a few more clouds this weekend, but we'll still get some sun. Watch out for an isolated shower. You see some of those popping up on Saturday afternoon. We'll have a few more going into your Sunday time frame too. So just be on the lookout for that. Once again, not too much in terms of a bunch of rainfall. Most of the weekend's going to be dry as we sit in the 80s. You're looking at the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook, and the warmth continues on the next several days. This weekend, mid-80s, and next week we kind of keep bouncing back and forth between some 70s and 80s. We have a few more chances for some showers and storms. But Betsy and Jay, this weekend, quick pop-up could be possible, but I think most of the time, once again, nice weather on the way.
Not a washout. That's what people need to know. But, you know, just keep an eye on things just because we're still in Ohio. That's the way it rolls. All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. We'll see you at 7.
All right, time right now to see what's clicking in Cleveland. For that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a very happy Friday to you. The weekend is upon us.
It is, Jay, and it's a happy Friday because I have great news to report about another comeback. Cleveland's Light Up the Lakefront fireworks will return on the 4th of July. That show will kick off at dusk, and there will be great views from the Flats West and East Banks and North Coast Harbor. We have recommended viewing spots listed for you on WKYC.com. Now, with everything that happened in the offseason, even with that, the Tribe has arguably one of the best bullpens in baseball right now. Our 3 News sports analyst has the stats to back that up on WKYC.com. That's where he breaks down how they got here. For one thing, the team has depth. Despite a lack of seasoned veterans, we've seen 11 different relief pitchers so far this season. That gives Terry Francona options. For more on how they got here from Ben, go to our site. And today is National Wait Staff Day, and we show our appreciation for service with a tip. Well, our viewers are debating that right now on Facebook. For one, there are, of course, those people who say just pay the wait staff, and why should they have to tip? Now, this comment got 23 replies, mostly from angry servers. Then there are those who say it depends on the service, not the food. And this last person actually tips more for bad service, giving the benefit of the doubt there. Now, a lot of people say 20% is the minimum, and more actually lately since places have been closed. One guy tips his bartender 100%. He's probably getting the hookup there. And here's a good note. Cash tips are preferred if you can. Some people got oddly specific. We have a 22%er, and then this man who gives $13 on a $37 bill. He said our example of $500 was too much. And then this one who says it's $4 per person. You can see here at least one person was confused about that one. Now, that is very specific. That could be good for the server or bad depending on the bill, but interesting aspects there. And Jay and Betsy, I want to go back to that tipping in cash tip really quick because a lot of people think this is a tax thing, but I can personally say I worked at a place where if you tipped in a credit card, you didn't get that tip right away. So that's another thing to think about if you're tipping people, and you can do that. That can help them out a little bit.
That's why you tip in cash, really. They get it right there.
Yep.
Don't have to wait for it.
Take it home, certainly. Good stuff. Thank you so much.
I like the European model.
What's the European model?
They won't let you tip.
Oh.
Like even if you try, they're like, oh, no. It's almost like they're offended.
It's all
because
built in.
The restaurants there pay them a fair wage.
Well, there you go.
All right, Stephanie, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Well, as health orders begin relaxing, so is dating. And if you're looking for love, the next time you swipe right, you can see if your future match is vaccinated. The Biden administration announced it's teaming up with some of the biggest dating apps to encourage vaccinations, including Tinder, OkCupid, Match, Bumble, and more. Hopefully you understand all those. The new feature includes a badge that will show a user's vaccination status and access to premium content just for vaccinated people. I think that's fascinating.
I think it's interesting.
I would like to know.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of pertinent information if you're going to meet up with someone in person.
Yeah.
And it's a question you're going to ask anyhow. They're doing the filtering process for you.
Helps out.
So you never have to have that awkward, are you vaxxed question. All right, some of these apps will be offering filters too, so you can only see users who have been vaccinated, just like you said. All right, pretty cool. Sign of the times, Bets.
Very easily.
Sign of the times.
Swipe right. All right, next on What's New, we'll introduce you to Kevin, who's kicked his career search to great heights, reaching out to the Browns in a pretty unique way. You are actually going to want to stick around for this. Only one person can bring us this story, and that would be Mike Polk Jr.
It's good. I found it Monday, and I pitched it, and they were like, you know, Mike needs to do this, not you, Jay. And I said, yeah, you're right, he
Absolutely.
does. And a reunion, a long time in the making. Wait until you see what's behind this garage door that had these triplets smiling ear to ear. It's a great story. It's coming up.
Seconds.
Welcome back to What's New. What would you do to land your dream job? I mean, we have ours, but a lot of people will go to great lengths. And a recent local grad is getting some attention for his very creative job application for a gig with the Cleveland Browns. This really caught my eye.
Okay, so the question would become, how far is too far when it comes to standing out? As we said, there's only one person that we could send on this story, and that would be the guy who always tests how far is too far, right? Mike Polk. Here it is.
Have you heard my man Kevin Cedar? For my man Kevin Cedar. Kevin Cedar, or Cedar.
Why are all of these pro sports luminaries so passionate about getting this guy a job? In fairness, they're not as much legitimate references as they are paid spokespeople who have been commissioned to endorse a product. That product? This man.
I'm Kevin Cedar. Recently, I just made a video using Cameo featuring some of my favorite Cleveland sports celebrities.
Like many people, Kevin is on the hunt for employment. And when the recent Bowling Green grad stumbled upon a job posting for the Browns, he knew he had to throw his hat in the ring.
I saw that the Cleveland Browns were hiring a videographer. I've been a videographer for about 9 to 10 years, but I always wanted to take that passion for digital media and combine it with my obsession for Cleveland sports.
Kevin knew this gig would be in high demand and didn't want to get lost in the shuffle.
So I wrote these scripts out and I sent them over.
And boy, did these guys rave about Kevin.
This dude makes Quentin Tarantino look like an amateur playing in kindergarten.
The only thing more gold than my glove is Kevin's video skill.
After applying for the job, Kevin posted his video on social media where it took on a life of its own.
And it even got featured on Sports Illustrated, and now I'm doing an interview on the news with Mike Polk, so.
Doesn't get any higher than that. Job applicants using gimmicks to stand out is nothing new. Whether it's a self-promoting billboard or printing your resume on low-key bribes like chocolate bars or craft beer, or, in the worst-case scenario, a self-produced musical resume.
So hire me, yeah, yeah.
But do stunts like these actually get people jobs? For some insight, I spoke with career coach Mary Rose Tishar of Inside Out Career Direction.
Are employers in general looking for that kind of extra pizzazz, something that stands out amongst applicants?
It really depends on the industry or the organization. In this day and age of post-COVID job opportunities, it's fun to see that, and people, employers will be intrigued and have some fun with that, and it could certainly get attention.
What I hear you saying is whether or not you decide to make some sort of a gesture like this when trying to seek out employment is largely based upon the kind of job that you're applying for.
Be thoughtful about it. And is it a gimmick? Don't do it if it's gimmicky.
As for Kevin, it's still a waiting game. But he says whether the Browns job comes through or not, he still believes something good is going to come of this.
I've heard from Cameo. Cameo said if I don't get the gig there, I could work for them.
And if he doesn't land the gig, it certainly won't be for lack of trying on Joe Thomas's part. As always, he gave it 100%.
And I would pay more than they're paying right now for Tesla. I'd pay more than they're paying now for Bitcoin because this dude is that special.
This is Mike Polk for 3 News.
I so encourage you to go to YouTube. Kevin Cedar is his name, and watch the entire video. My favorite part is Omar when he's looking into the camera and he's saying, "My good friend Kevin Cedar."
Or Cedar.
Or Cedar. It is so funny. What it speaks to for me is creativity. And every job demands creativity.
Right.
I'm assuming he has good photo skills or he wouldn't be applying for that job, but I love the creativity.
It's a creative career. Well, he has not yet heard back from the Cleveland Browns. He says no matter the outcome, he has had a lot of fun making that video. We've had a lot of fun showing it.
Yeah, you got to see the whole thing. Trust me, it's worth it. All right, coming up, we're talking reunions, and we absolutely love stories like these. You know that by now. Wait until you see who these 3 boys got to hug after 21 months of being apart. It's next, and show us something good.
Then on What Matters Most at 6, one local woman is turning terrible diagnosis into a source of strength. How she's literally kicking cancer.
We wrap up what's new today with a special video to share out of Euclid, a reunion more than a year and a half in the making of 3 local triplets getting a big surprise.
So sweet. Take a look.
Hi! Did you not even know that? It was all in gym. You're taller than me, you are!
Of 2019. So that's 21 months?
Yeah.
And there they are behind the garage door. You never know what you're going to see behind the garage door. The grandparents made a surprise trip from Wisconsin, and I do believe it was a surprise.
I love the comments. You've grown, of course. Oh my goodness, those 3 boys, how sweet. Certainly. Well, the boys' mom, Barbara, submitted this video to us on our app, part of our Feel the Love campaign here at 3 News. And we want you to do the same, showing us your reunion videos or pictures. Just use the hashtag reunions3 on social media, or you can upload pictures and video to our WKYC app using the Near Me feature. Well, thank you so much for staying with us on this Friday afternoon and watching What's New.
I'll see you for What Matters Most with Laura. That starts right now.
Making travel a breeze.
Anyone who is flying this airline is going to really anticipate a fantastic delivery of service.
The new budget airline ready to offer direct flights at discount prices out of Akron-Canton. Drinks run dry. Ohio facing an alcohol shortage after a year in the pandemic, when liquor agencies hope to get the shelves restocked. Hiring challenge. Cedar Point is among the many businesses facing staffing shortages. The park's new incentive to get workers. And kicking cancer. One woman shares her journey and how she is using soccer and support to keep pushing through.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Laura Queso.
And I'm Jay Crawford. Russ is off tonight. We begin with breaking news out of Willoughby. The Lake County Bomb Squad is looking into military ordnance that was found in the Chagrin River